Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined this week by the slowly empty glue pot himself. It's Mikey G. Wolfie 3. Hello, Mikey.
I really wish you would just get a new desk.
No.
Or more reactive. Because, I don't know, just disassociate me from desks.
I could have given you the translucent orange horns of power.
Just disassociate me from things in your life.
Man, that's a real shame, because I happen to have the Mikey cat here on my desk.
Well, burn that, then disassociate me.
But it's your effigy.
Burn it.
If it burns, you burn.
Burn
That's
it.
That's how it works, I think.
Burn it.
The threat still is out there for that Mikey cat to someday get to you.
As long as it's on fire.
Oh, what if we get it? What if we get Abby to send it to your niece? Oh, that's a good idea.
That just sounds convoluted.
Yeah, but if they send it to your niece, that means you can't take it away, because then you'd be stealing a toy from her to
Well,
Which
she's got to
seems a
learn the
little
world is
cruel.
cruel, and I do what I want.
I like the idea of you stealing this child's furry cat thing and burning it in front of, say, this isn't my fault. This is a couple in Carlisle's fault.
Yes.
They made this happen. I'm not the bad guy, says Mikey.
I mean, I'm mildly convinced Mikey Cat was basically just remodeled into their actual child.
Oh, that's some good lore right there.
Yeah, so...
I like that. Yeah. The mythology of the Gruff child.
Yep.
The Gruffkin, if you would. Mikey.
It's like that movie Spliced.
Which one was spliced?
About scientists who created a hybrid person.
Oh, is that the one with the lady with the tail?
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't one of the guys want to get sexually romantic with it as well? And then they killed him or something.
It's a movie, yeah.
Okay. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Therefore, the guy would want to have sex with the weird half-breed creature.
Am I wrong in that statement?
No, probably not.
There we go.
It went badly, though, didn't it? He got... Spoilers. I think he got eaten by her or something,
It
right?
always goes badly.
Well, that's true. Well, what are you going to do on a blind date, I suppose? There's always something. Mikey, we're here to talk about Transformers this week, as per usual. There's little, once again, to talk about, but we do have a few little bits of news. We're going to kick off with no third-party news. I was kind of surprised by that. We've got Masterpiece stuff to talk about. I wouldn't say amazing Masterpiece news, but never mind. First look at the Takara Tomy Masterpiece Jetfire toy, or Skyfire toy, however you like to say it. Well, technically it is Skyfire, because it is based off the cartoon model, more so than the toy. So we got apparently reveals, an image from an upcoming Transformers Generation book of 2021. So
yeah,
I'm
it's
guessing
been
this is a
released.
series of book.
It's been released. It's like the
book,
annual, the annual Generations book that's been going on
right.
for donkey's years. But this has been released. So these are from scans someone did.
Okay, and it shows said Skyfire next to MP10, which is interesting. MP10 and not the MP 3.0 Prime. I don't remember what number that one was.
40 something.
God, the fact that you remember that, good man, Mikey. You can see he's a decent bit taller.
MP44. There we go.
44. Oh, okay. I'll throw out here as well. We'll talk about Skyfire first, and then we'll talk about the Train Combiner, because they're kind of showing up in the same page. But we'll talk about Skyfire first. I will say, for some reason, looking at this, looks like he's in the very, very early stages, or I thought originally that this was a KO, or a knockoff, or a third-party company making a super simplistic Skyfire.
How so?
It does not look like a Masterpiece toy to me. It looks very simplistic.
I mean,
at least from this image, which is granted
I would
not
say
your best
that's
image.
kind of what Skyfire looks like, or Jetfire, or whatever fire. He is a fairly simple, very simple design, to be honest.
I think it's because he's so blocky. Like he feel maybe again because he's not colored or painted or anything like that, and he is in the solid gray. Yeah. To me, he does look like the very unfinished kind of first attempt at doing a third party figure. Maybe a little bit. I'm getting a little bit of a vibe of a 3D printed figure, like one of those ones.
Yeah, I mean, Probably because that's what it is.
Maybe.
But
Who
I mean,
knows?
I'm just looking at next to a picture of Skyfire from the show. And,
Oh,
like,
yeah, I mean, looks like
it's
him.
on point.
Yeah.
You
Do you have
know,
any thoughts about
if
Skyfire?
I mean, not really. He's not a character I get excited about, but
Not at all.
no, like I hope they don't overprice him. I mean,
Oh, Mikey.
at that size, he's probably going to be approaching MP44 prices. But
I think he'll be more than that, to be honest.
well, like MP44 has the trailer and all that other gear, and
Yeah, that's true.
so that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Also, like, I'm not really sure what accessories you'd give him.
You could give him little versions of the Transformers, like a little small Optimus Prime, because they were, meant to be able to fly inside of him.
Oh yeah, they were, weren't they? In
Yeah.
a few episodes, but
Yeah, so you could do that. Oh, you could. They'll probably do the thing where you can replace the Autobot insignia with the Decepticon one. Makes sense.
yeah, that would make kind of sense.
Do you think they give him a bit of the giant green crystal from that episode he was in? Do you remember that?
Because like thing is, he's for a character who was like he's very prominent in the fandom.
Yeah. he
You'd
didn't do
never
much.
argue he was a prominent character. if you know what I mean.
No, for a reoccurring character, he didn't do a huge amount.
Like
There
certainly
was
for
something, there were 2 episodes I can think of which were
Fire and
his
Sky
introduction,
and Fire in the Mountain.
or
whatever it was.
Yeah, whichever the one where he came back, because the first
Yeah.
one he got frozen, and then the second
Yeah.
one they remembered to actually save him.
That's the only episode where the whole Starscream thing meant anything.
Yeah, pretty much. The hint of a story there.
Mm.
Oh, bless the 80s cartoon
He
telling.
wasn't in many episodes.
I think those were his primary, where he was focused
He was
and then
in-
he was like background and stuff, right?
Fire in the Mountain.
Yeah.
He was in Fire and Sky, Fire in the Mountain, Ultimate Doom. He was in a few episodes of that.
Oh, okay. I
Plague
don't
of
think he
Ins-
couldn't have had a big role in those, though, right?
No, he was a background. Plague of Insecticons, The Immobilizer,
Oh God, the Immobilizer.
and Day of the Machines, and he was like a background shot for Dark Awakening. So, he appeared in very little outside of, like, in general he appeared in very little, but I think he's only in like 2 episodes of season 2.
I mean that kind of makes sense. He was the season 1 kind of guy, I would say, more so than anything.
Yeah,
Which makes
but
sense
it's
why
like-
he's being done now.
It's very interesting to me that like you when you think of him, you do think of him as being a bit more prominent than that.
Well, like you say, a lot more people talk about him than anything else. I mean, at least he did more than Skids.
Low,
He actually had
bar.
episodes surrounding him, so...
low bar.
I think he technically did more than Sea Spray, who I think had 1 episode around him.
Yeah.
Trax maybe did Trax have 3 surrounding him,
Oh.
like primary focus?
I don't know. Like the thing, I think the thing for Skyfire is that he appeared in season 1, which was oddly enough a lot more continuity driven than the rest of than season 2.
For what it's worth, yes, I would agree.
Yeah, like
yes.
because I'm just looking because you had More Than Meets the Eye, and then you had 1, 2, 3 sort of like fill-in episodes that led into Fire in the Sky. Then you had Fire in the Sky, SOS Dinobots, Fire in the Mountain, and War of the Dinobots.
Was there not like a bigger gap between them saving Skyfire?
And then you had Ultimate Doom for 3 episodes, and Countdown to Extinction, and then it's Plague of Insecticons and Heavy Metal War. So half the show is actually like continuity based.
Oh yeah, I'd probably go with light continuity more than anything else, right?
It's all tying into like established arcs.
I guess. I'd
Like
still
they're
say
all
light.
like sequel episodes. Even like they're not really giving him any time to settle in, but they are all sequel episodes.
I don't know. Skyfire.
And then it hit season 2, where nothing mattered.
Oh, well, you gotta shift more toys. Because at that point, they were making toys, weren't they?
Yeah,
Or they were getting a lot more stuff. They were getting a lot more stuff.
They weren't making a lot.
No.
Season 3, when it was primarily new stuff, that was like
that's right,
Hasbro
yeah.
has made toys.
Yeah.
Well,
I suppose season 2 was they had the Scramble City stuff. They were new, right, for the most part.
Season 2 has a ton of new toys, but it's primarily reusing molds. It's Diaclone and Microman and stuff like that. Whereas season 3, it's a lot of like brand new figures.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
And Skyfire, who never existed.
Well, no, Jetfire existed. Then they couldn't use Jetfire, so they made him Skyfire.
Yeah.
And then everyone, then around the mid-2000s, there was a big fight in the fandom whether or not we should ever say Skyfire or Jetfire. And then they just started licensing Jetfire again.
I remember those fights. They were weird because he was Skyfire, and that's how it was. But never mind.
No, it was originally Jetfire, but it became Skyfire because they pissed off Gold.
What was his name in the cartoon?
I barely
remember. What did they call him?
Skyfire, but it was Jetfire in the comic.
Skyfire.
For a little bit, and then it was Skyfire. And
so
then
Skyfire. It's really Skyfire.
Listen, this is the same thing that's arguing over what color Soundwave's eyes should be still, Sam.
Red. It looks better.
No, Andy, yellow. Obviously, it was original.
Yeah, but it doesn't look as good.
But no.
Doesn't look
Andy,
as good.
don't argue with the majority. That means you're wrong.
Yeah, but only you can voice your opinion. That's it.
I am the voice of the consensus.
Exactly. Oh no, you Tornatron.
Oh no,
Tornatron. Oh yes. Mikey, there was also the images we had of the train combiner. Shouki,
the first part of Raiden.
Yeah, so not the whole of Raiden, just one part of him.
Yep, it's a vector.
This guy's going to be expensive.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
It's not going to be cheap.
Not much to say. Shouki was Grimlock, wasn't he? In the bad dub.
Oh, don't ask me that. Don't.
I think it is. He was the leader, wasn't he? Shouki was the leader.
I have no idea.
I think Shouki was the leader, thus he would have been called Grimlock in the bad Asian dub.
The Star Dubs.
The Star Dubs, that's them. I like how they named this as the Raiden Project. That's quite cool. Oh god, it was revealed the Raiden Project came about in 2019. Oh lord, there have been delays.
And then, there was this weird thing that happened in 2020 where nothing happened.
Yes, well, I mean, you could blame COVID, but there's also, how's that Armada Optimus Prime doing?
So to be fair, I think that was around the same time.
No, was it?
Yeah.
No, you might be right. I don't know. Still, poke 'em.
And I'm sure that got just trashed by now.
Probably. Maybe. Who knows? Might be on the back burner. What do you think of Shouki, Mikey? I think he has very big hands.
Yeah, he looks very, very chunky.
Yes.
I am not... I'm looking at this and I'm seeing, standard Voyager combiner elements.
You think they might be smaller just to facilitate making them
it's
a
just
bit
so
cheaper?
Nothing about, this doesn't look clean or, quote, animation-y. This looks like a standard Voyager design, so it's not necessarily size, it's just, this is the kind of aesthetic I'm seeing in mainline.
Yeah, you're right, because he's not, they haven't gone for the, like you said, the animation kind of curvy, smoothy, soft look to them.
Yeah. Now, I'm not familiar enough with Headmasters off the top of my head to judge whether or not I think that's good or bad.
Oh my god. How can you not be fully up to date on your Headmasters knowledge, Mikey? It was the pinnacle of Transformers.
It was a terrible show.
It was the peak of storytelling.
It was awful.
Oh
the best
my god.
thing that came out of it was a meme about Six Shot.
Oh, the ninja one, Ninja Consultant.
He's a ninja consultant. That was the best thing that came out of it. And then, Uncle Six Shot as well is good. But,
I hated that.
Uncle
But then
Six
again,
Shot?
I hated Daniel, so...
Everyone hates Daniel. Even Six Shot hates Daniel.
Yeah, well, he was his uncle, so yeah. Makes sense.
I wouldn't say this is flipping a lid yet, because it's it's not even a CAD model yet. But
no, it's a CG render. If you weren't aware, so it's super 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 early.
I'm curious to see what it'll look like and what it turns out. I'm looking at pictures of Shouki right now. Mm-hmm. This is on par, but it's got kind of a bit more of a stylized look.
Okay, interesting.
Also,
I wonder if that will
colors...
transfer over to the CAD model, or whether that's only a CG render kind of deal that's
also,
going on.
Also, his colors are weird, so...
Shouki's? Yeah,
because he's just kind of blue and white in the middle, but then he's got these, brick arms that are just, grey. So, it's a bit odd. But yeah, no, listen, I'm all up for Raiden getting any kind of new thing, because at least it's something different. So, and he looks weird. Raiden's an unusual looking guy, so I'm happy enough to see them, come out and about. Just, you ain't gonna get much information out of this.
Here's the thing. Do you think when this Raiden comes out a few months later, or half a year later at the very least, we'll get the influx of third-party ones? Once Hasbro proves that there is a market for it, because there's a reason why it wasn't done yet, because no one had any faith in the trains, basically.
Because it wasn't G1.
Well, yeah,
that's
that would be the excuse.
I don't
agree.
know. I wouldn't exactly expect a flood. I might expect one, like TFC. This is kind of a TFC kind of deal, I'd say. I don't think this is going to be a case of just like, oh my god, this isn't Unicron. This isn't a lot of the stuff we've seen. I think this is just going to be like, okay, cool, masterpiece thing. Knockoffs are all you really have to worry about.
Okay, that's interesting. I think we could see a few in the future.
I mean, I'm not saying you won't see a few in the future, but I don't think it'll be necessarily in response to Hasbro proving the market.
You don't think it'll be the avalanche comes?
No, because this isn't Pretty King.
Oh my god!
Even though it was kind of his buddy in the show for a bit.
I mean, technically, you're right. It's not Pretty King. It's better. It's trains.
Japan loves trains.
Mikey, do you want to take us on to our next bit of news? Because I think I saw you talking about this one online this week.
Trumpeter have announced their next model kit. So they've been previously doing... it's been about 2 years ago now. They announced that they were going to do a line of Bumblebee movie model kits. The only one that has been released so far is Bumblebee himself. And this time around, we have images of Blitzwing. So we see sort of a proto Blitzwing with no paint or anything added on. And then we see the box art, we see the figure on display, and we see the runners. It looks like it's going to come with a stand, with an Autobot and a Decepticon logo. And like Bumblebee, this is a fairly simple kit that comes pre-painted. So a lot of your details are already on there. I am curious how this will turn out. From what I could see of Bumblebee, there were some definite QC issues with the quality of the plastic.
What do you mean? Is it brittle or something?
Yeah,
like that?
I saw a lot of videos with like one video where like the ankle snapped off.
Ooh.
And also like I would say like it didn't look like a particularly great kit, but
have you become a model snob since you've been doing so much Bandai stuff now?
Well, it's more of the like it just like it looked a bit overly simple, and again like when it breaks when you put it together. That's not great.
You get spoiled by Bandai when you build enough of them. You're like, why aren't all model kits as nice as these ones?
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I've built other ones as well that looked better than this, because this is basically, aimed younger than a lot of kits are. To be honest, like the Trumpeter stuff.
If you look at the runners, no, I would agree. There's no polycaps or anything like that, and it's
the
idea not a huge amount of sprues.
No, it just cost a bit more because of the paint. Well,
that makes sense.
But I'm curious. I do want to pick up one of these Trumpeter ones. I'd be more into picking up Blitzwing than I would Bumblebee.
Do you think you'd more than likely want to wait to see if they do a Shatter and a Knockout first instead? Because I'm pretty sure you'd prefer those two over.
Oh yeah, I'd rather have a Shatter or a Dropkick, but.
Oh, Dropkick, that's his name, yeah.
I just don't know. Like, I'd be surprised if this line went on that long, to be honest. I'm surprised I'm amazed Blitzwing's actually getting a release.
Yeah, I guess the next release they'll probably do, if it continues again, would probably be Prime, right? Because that's the usual fanfare. It's B, it's Prime, and then it's maybe Blitzwing, and then that's it. They're like,
here's a retool of this into Starscream. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Something to save some money, like because they had, if I remember right, they had images of what was it? RC was in there as well. Like I know Shatter and Dropkick were both in there.
Okay,
but RC was in there because like Trumpeter is more like military vehicles. They're that kind of model kit. They're not traditionally action figure model kits. So it's a bit unusual that they got the license in the first place. Yeah, I'm just looking through, like, they had pictures of who was here? Yeah, they had pictures of Soundwave, Ravage, Wheeljack, Shockwave was in there as well, and Optimus, RC, Brawn.
Mm-hmm.
So a Cybertronian version of Bumblebee as well.
Okay, all right.
So they clearly wanted to do a lot with the line at the time. We'll see how it turns out.
Do you think it'll peter out, or do you think it'll?
I mean, I
be
just
fine
because these took a long time to hit places like HLJ.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they petered out.
Well, is this a Japanese company or a Chinese company out of interest?
Trumpeter, I believe they're Japanese.
Okay.
So
I wasn't sure. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. Like, I'm not excited for it, but I am curious about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, as ever, the movie stuff never for us, but it's nice that it's out there, I guess. Hopefully the quality will keep improving on these and they'll become less brittle. Maybe it's just like the first one that they do is a bit on the wonky side. Maybe number 2's the better one. Yeah,
like I said, it's not their usual wheelhouse.
Yeah, you never know.
That's a factor in it.
Might get better. Shall I take us on, Mr. Mikey?
Yes.
Do you remember, Mikey, that there was a Transformers card game?
No.
Too bad, there was, and I'll tell you once more, there's a new one coming out. Renegade Game Studios are doing Transformers deck building game. And we've got packaging and description. I can only assume the deck building refers to cards and not anything else. I don't know what else it could be, but you never know. So apparently there was a previous report that Renegade Game Studios had extended their partnership with Hasbro. I'm not exactly sure who Renegade Game Studios is to begin with. What about yourself, Mikey? Do you know?
No, this is not my wheelhouse at all.
All right, that's fine. In order to manufacture board games and card games, now we can confirm that their first product's going to be the deck building game. A deck building game is a card game or a board game where construction of a deck is the main element of gameplay. Unlike other card games, the cards are not sold in randomized packs. All of them come in one single pack for you to build your best deck. But I will say that usually these have expansions to them. So you'll be able to add more, is usually how this goes. Price and release of this game are yet to be revealed. But you can check the packaging images for the official product description after the jump. And then there's some other stuff as well. So, Mr. Mikey, it's a game that you can play between 1 to 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Playtime is 45 minutes to 90 minutes. The age is 13 plus.
Cool.
There you go. What do you think? Is this an exciting idea for you? I mean, we've also got Matt Frank. You might remember Matt Frank doing lots of stuff, like the Little Formers stuff from back in the day.
Yeah, Matt Frank's pretty prominent artist.
Yes, one of many things he's done. So the artwork's going to be nice. I will say that the cover art that we see looks pretty good. Pretty spot on.
Slightly odd. You've got the cover art, which is very much based on like the evergreen approach.
Yeah, which seems out of fashion now, right?
Yeah, well, very much so. But then on the side cover, you've got IDWRC and Autobot Megatron.
Do we know which ID? I mean, yeah, it's IDWRC, but it's like, which one?
Well, like, there's only one that has a big laser sword.
Well, no, I mean, like, sorry, who's doing the artwork for that RC,
well,
I should say?
I don't know. That might be Matt, but, like, obviously that's quite a well-known image by Alex.
Yeah, I was going to say that's definitely Alex Milne's Megatron, definitely, because it's even got the Autobot insignia on his
yeah, but like that's from Morden Meets the Eye. I want to say 50. It's the second to last issue of the main arc.
All right, don't make me contact Alex and get him to correct you. He'll do it.
It's the one where Megatron's like walking out after like Ravage gets ripped in half.
What page number? What panel?
Page number would be probably
Mikey,
20.
don't get it wrong. It's
a full page spread. It's a full page.
This is
spread.
stuff everybody knows.
It's a full page spread.
All right, yeah, we'll have to see. Alex, get in contact with us if you like. Tell Mikey he's wrong.
He'll do that anyway.
I know, that's true. So, Mikey, card building games, are they your cup of tea?
Not really.
Have you played one before, actually?
No.
Oh.
Card games in general aren't something I get super excited with.
Didn't you get into Magic at one point?
Well, no, I knew people who got into Magic, and I played with them a few times, but it was never something that lit my fire.
Ah, okay. I remember you said you did play it. I assumed you got drawn in at one point.
Nah.
I guess not. Okay.
I've got a deck around here somewhere, I suppose, but yeah, no, I mean, I'd like to see a bit more details about it, like how you play it and everything else. Like, and some of the actual cards. At the moment, it's just kind of a nebulous box package or something like that.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Yeah, I'm not particularly buzzed.
Okay. I mean, this is
buzzed?
not the usual...
Do you feel the electric shock in the groin that tells you excitement awaits?
No. Like you, the card game building thing is not my usual wheelhouse of things. I do like board games, but not these ones. Oh, Mikey, if you didn't know, these guys are the guys that did the Saban Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I assume card game. Or is this the one with the minifigures?
Don't know.
I don't know. Maybe these are the one with the minifigures, because it doesn't show what's in the box. There are cards as well. Yeah, so it looks like that again. This is the wheelhouse. Oh no, they have done minis as well. There's a Power Ranger Shadow Ranger promo figure, which is granted sold out. But yeah, it seems like they do miniatures as well as card games and whatnot. So if you wondered if you've played that Power Rangers game, you might get an idea of their work. Oh god, they're doing Scott Pilgrim versus the World miniatures. Fair enough. All right, there you go. I don't really have anything else to add because, like you said, since we don't see the cards, we don't know what the rules are. It's really hard to talk about it. It just says it can be played cooperatively or competitively. I think it'll be interesting to see how this stacks up versus the Magic the Gathering stuff. But because it's not Magic, I imagine it might not
No, it's
be...
a completely different... If it's completely different, like, wheelhouse, it's much...
Totally.
From what little I read about it, it's much more like board games.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how people compare them because they are so different. I have a feeling it might not do as well in a monetary wise, just because, Magic, you go in, you buy a fuck ton of cards, you keep buying packets to get the rare cards, or you keep buying packets until you get the cards you need to build out your specific version of the deck. Obviously, our friend Mr. Wayne went in very deep on that. I can't imagine him going that hard on this.
Well, from what I learned in the week, because I did try and find it, it's basically like these are all self-contained.
Yeah.
The expansion packs are basically just new deck sets.
Yeah, which you can mix in.
They're not intended for the kind of mix and match like Magic or anything like that. You do not build decks in the strictest sense. It's part of a board game. It's basically it's a lot more like an RPG board game than it is like Magic the Gathering or something like that.
Okay, fair enough.
So like the only thing they have in common is that there's cards.
Cards.
So, but they're like very different markets, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And what little I understand, because I didn't learn that much.
Well, there you go. You knew more than me about it, at the very least. I can tell you that much. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the last bit of news for today? Because, yep, believe it or not, that's it. And this last one was specially left for Mikey.
Quite, yeah. So, we have images of the long-rumored, finally confirmed, Amazon exclusive Kingdom Mirage and Grimlock 2-pack. So this is a retool of Siege Mirage into a more earthy vehicle mode. Get him out of the way pretty quick. It's a kind of chunky race car.
I hear that he doesn't have translucent plastic for his legs, which people are quite happy about. If that was a thing for the original version, I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm not like it's. Yeah, I feel nothing for Mirage. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I've never liked the character. I've never particularly liked the design. It's a toy we already got with some extra bits added on.
Yep.
And
it doesn't feel like that dramatic of a change visually between the two of them. Like, it's not like the Ironhide where there's it looks visually very different from the Siege version, thankfully.
Yeah, like there's some clever things, like in the original you had 26 Elf and they've changed it to 26 Orc.
Hey.
But, like, hey, if you are into your Mirages, I'm sure you're very excited by this. I'm very indifferent to Mirage the best of days, and this is just a retool of another Siege toy.
Yeah. And like we said, not an amazingly complex retool either. See, from what we see from the pictures, I guess.
The other one is Grimlock. So this is a repaint and retool of Kingdom Dinobot. This was long rumored, and I, for one, was very semi-excited for it. Because I've always thought the Dalmatian Grimlock looks very silly and enjoyable.
Okay.
And I was looking forward to getting an updated version of him. That's not what we got.
It's a different version.
It's a completely different version.
Yeah, that's true.
It is a white raptor with a grey back, completely grey back, a black head. I don't know, with some weird breakup. grey hands and grey feet, who transforms into a fairly detailless robot mode without any paint or anything on the faux raptor elements. So
yeah, that really hurts.
The black chest really looks out of place.
Yeah.
And also, like, he's got grey arms and this weird half split in the paint on the legs.
Yeah, that was the same on normal Dinobot as well,
no,
wasn't it?
it wasn't.
No?
No, like, there's on normal Dinobot, the thighs are painted like Dinobot. And there's, like, you see the kneecap? See that half split in the kneecap? That is painted differently. Everything else is symmetrical. Now, you could argue this is painted this way because they wanted to make sure that in Raptor mode you had a nice, like, white side, right?
Yes.
Except all the bits that are painted have, you know, those white bits on the outside?
Fun. The white bits on the legs, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are all the bits that face outwards.
Yay.
Which are also the same in Dinobot in terms of positioning.
Yeah, I'm
So
looking at the Dinobot version as well, and yeah, like you said, there seemed to be no reason why they did it.
You could have painted the inner thigh white, and you could have painted the foot white.
Yeah. Or black, or whichever way you wanted to do it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be white. Like, it's like going with... That's the thing. I hate this. I'm really annoyed about this. I'm annoyed with people saying this looks more like what a real raptor would, and I'm just like, no. Under no
Oh no,
circumstances.
don't say that to
Ironically,
Mikey.
the spots were more realistic.
Don't say that to Mikey. How many people have said that directly to you out of interest?
Directly to me, none.
Oh, damn,
I have heard people say it. Like, the new head is based off of the original Dinobot toy head.
I think that looks okay.
Yeah, I
that
think the
looks
head's
pretty good.
fine. I saw some people complain about it, and I said, like, well, that's kind of what the toy looked like.
What was their issues? Do you remember with the head sculpt?
Looks too like looks too much like Optimus Prime or something I saw. And
I guess, but yeah, like you say, that's just what the head is.
Like.
Yeah.
But so they just this is a completely new deco.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I think doesn't look good. Like the half and half look on the legs is really distracting.
Yeah.
I really don't like the split in robot mode I'm looking at now. I don't like the split in the arms where the bottom of the arms are grey.
Yeah, it's like he's wearing a white jumper.
Like, I think the chest would look a lot better if you had a row of spots in the middle and then you had the two eyes painted green to give that faux look. And then the dinosaur mode, I think, just looks bad. I really don't like how the color layout works in dinosaur mode. When it could have just been this simple, mostly white, a line of spots on the top, green eyes. Nah. And, like, even looking at, like, if they'd gone with, like, all white thighs, you wouldn't have, on the dinosaur mode chest, the brown spots.
Yeah.
You would have had this nice white pack. Like, it would have blended better. I really, really dislike this. And I really want to know what the thinking was behind going for this toy and going for a completely new deco. And, like, I am the one who wants creativity. I am the one who wants stuff new. But the simple fact you were going to do Kingdom Grimlock was pretty new to me, and had like, okay, we're delving in, and like this color scheme isn't based on any existing toy.
Doesn't seem to be. No, I'm guessing you had a little bit of a look around as well when this came out to see if it did match anything. And
it's no version of Dinobot, no version of Grimlock. I just really don't like it.
Would you say aggressively don't like it?
Yeah, no, I'm really disappointed. Like, really, this is a proper, like, you really deflated any enthusiasm I had for this, because I was looking forward to seeing how you translate the Dalmatian Grimlock over. And this is just, like, to me, this is an inferior look.
I can kind of get why they didn't do the Dalmatian look, because it is just a white dinosaur with spots on. So I think, like, the idea of this is a bit more visually interesting. And I think when you look at the most disappointing thing is when you look at the box art.
Yeah, the box art is better.
Because they've done exactly what you said. They colored the eyes green in
they've
both modes.
Yeah, they've actually got more black as well on the chest, so it spreads out. It works in that illusion.
Yeah, that's how it would work, because, you know, his dinosaur head is primarily, you know, around the eyes at least black, so the idea would be that folds out. So, and since they didn't paint that, it kind of breaks the illusion, like to say. And the extra grey, again, would have just been a bit nicer visually. They do have a weird thing on the artwork where you can see the knee is still split in half between the bronzy colour and the white, which is odd.
That just seems to be something that is in there. But
and on the foot as well. It looks like the foot still has it as well, which again, that's just a bad call, I guess.
Yeah. And
the arm's been painted correctly, because it seems like there's white on the arm, but it's primarily grey.
It's... Yeah, no, I'm not impressed at all with this.
It feels like it's not finished. It feels like they haven't added all the paint apps in, but we know. I think we can say this is it. You know, they're not going to do anything special for it.
This is what you're getting.
Yeah. So sticker people, you're gonna have your work cut out for you, and customizers, you're gonna be able to make this toy look good, or at least a lot better.
If you want to do that, great, but that's not a route I'm going down.
No. I mean, you're a painter now, since you painted Gundam kits, but I think painting Gundam kits, which are primarily come incomplete, not built, and doing it with a Transformer are two different things. Yeah,
also, I don't feel the urge to buy a Transformer and do a repaint of them.
No, I would agree there.
So, I'm pretty let down by this.
Yeah, well, it's an Amazon exclusive, so I guess it would have been a little bit of a pain to get regardless, right?
And, I had no interest in getting Mirage, so...
No, wow, yeah. I guess if you were going to get this, you probably would have done the eBay route, right?
Yeah. Or,
Excuse me.
Chill Mirage off and try and make some money back or something like that.
How much is the set going for?
52.
That doesn't sound terrible.
$52.
That doesn't sound terrible. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. They don't come with anything, do they? Nothing extra fancy in terms of accessories, right?
No, just what you see here.
Okay. Grimlock. Maybe one day, Mikey, they'll make a Grimlock that you'll enjoy and that you'll want to get.
Those days, I think, are gone.
Yeah. You did get the... I think the last Grimlock that you got where you were happy was the Cyberverse one, right?
Yeah, I like him. I like how that turned out.
And then Studio Series came and kicked you in the nuts, and then so did this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one day. Just not today. Anything else we got to say on these guys, Mikey?
I have nothing.
No, I think I've covered it. Mirage, like you said, kind of dull, but fair enough. If you like Mirage, this is a mild update to him, I guess. And Grimlock is an unfinished painted figure. At least in my eyes. So, that's all of our news, Mikey. Believe it or not, we're already done. That's how it goes.
Yep.
I still need to pick up a Dinobot, actually. I don't know why that popped into my head. Still need to grab him. So do you.
Yeah.
And a Megatron.
Yep.
When you can.
I looked at it today and I look at T-Rex and they got T-Rex right.
Yeah, they should have done a little bit more with T-Rex, I think. I think we said that before just because of his big red chest, but still. Yeah, they got that right. Want to do the Grimlock? No? Okay. Never mind. It's fine.
Nothing for you.
It's fine. Mikey, since we are done and dusted, what have you been up to this week? What have you done for fun? You done anything fun, son?
Not a ton of fun.
Oh my god.
I was building the full clot, and then it turns out I'm missing a runner for the legs.
Yeah, I remember you told me. That's a real bummer to miss an entire runner.
Yeah, I'm trying to source it. So I'm waiting to hear back from my guy at the moment.
Okay.
Just otherwise, it's a case I just stick in a box and wait until I have to buy like a cheap crossbone of some sort. Which is like, I'm sure you can get a cheap like one of the other crossbone units, but it's still like a pain in the hole. And also that leaves me with a whole kit of stuff I don't want. But so yeah, that's on the back burner. But I did start building the real grade crossbone, which is, I would say, the best real grade experience I've had.
It's the newest one at the moment, isn't it?
It's not that far away from the Tallgeese. I think it's, in terms of releases, but I really like how the legs are coming together. I haven't been doing a lot of it during the week just because of like a bit of work and stuff like that. But the actual I really like how the legs come together. The core fighter is really really fun. like I'm really liking. The only thing I'm not crazy about is the material the cloak is made out of, which is a fairly thin plastic.
Yeah, they've never really got the cape right for the full cloth, have they?
Like any crossbone version, either it's a plastic one, which never felt right, or they've gone for like a fake cloth one, which, or like in the high grade, it's just a paper.
Yeah.
Which is a really not very, like, really bad feeling paper.
I know I saw one of them and it looked like it was made out of bin liner, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know which one that is. That might be the master grade.
I think that's a high grade.
Is it the high grade? Okay.
But yeah, no, real grade crossbone. It's a fun build. Should have been finished in the next few days.
Does it make you want to get the black one, the blue one, the dark blue one?
Well, I'm gonna have to get the other ones at some point, but I'm not I'm not going to do it anytime soon.
Okay. Yeah, because they're eHobby exclusives, aren't they? Well, not eHobby, sorry. Premium Bandai.
The X2 is Premium Bandai, but you can only get the X3 in high grade.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they haven't done a real grade of it. So it would be high grade for the X3 and the X0.
Right.
So, and I think once the new full cloth comes out, I think that's every main crossbone unit bar the X13 from Dust, which is basically just the X1 with some pipes on its shoulders.
Are you tempted to get the metal version of
No.
the full cloth? Was it? Is it full cloth?
X1, and then they did the full
X1.
cloth version of that as well, and they're
Mm.
doing the X3. I don't know, like that's very expensive, and from what
It
I can see,
is.
it's basically just a big action figure. So
Yeah, just made of metal.
yeah, I could do it, but it would be kind of like a big purchase.
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So finish playing Nier.
Ooh.
Nier Replicant. That is a very strong story.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the world. I really like the characters. Overall, I thought so. Route A is your main route. Route B is a rehash of like the latter third to 2/3 of Route A, but with a lot of new cutscenes, a lot of new elements, sort of expanding on the world and really changing your perspective on the character of Nier.
Okay.
And your enemies. Route C, right, has a brand new boss, but has very little new material in it. Apart from that, there's a couple of cutscenes with Devila and Popola. But you do have to replay a lot of the game, and the way Route C and D, like, you have to basically replay the same section again, which is quite a lot. But what you can do, like, you replay one, save, do Route C, and then reload your save, and then do the bits leading to Route D.
Yeah, you described C to me as being the 9S second playthrough
on
Automata, right?
I would say that's it's the one where, like, there's just not enough new stuff here.
Yeah.
And then, like, okay, so the game has a real problem, and I think this is a legit problem. Like, most of its major lore is found externally. Like, and, like, Nier Automata, or Automata, or whatever you want to call it, it's got a lot of lore that comes from stage plays and other books and stuff like that. But all the important information is in the game.
Yeah. The other stuff's just to add to it, right?
Yeah, what the Orha units are, what the machines are, how we got to the situation we are, what's going on with the humans on the moon. All of that is in game. Nier, most of the really big plot points in the original 4 endings is not there in the game.
Like, has this happened in any of the Drakengard that you've played beforehand?
Not to this extent.
Okay, so this is Yoko Taro going like super duper Yoko Taro.
Drakengard 3, like, it's like maybe a book is the true ending, or maybe it's A, or maybe it's Route D, and ultimately it's just, like, especially with Drakengard, it's whichever one you want it to be. Okay. But, like, the origin of the problem that led to the creation of the Gestalts and the Shades and the replicants themselves in Nier, that's all in a book. Like, you open up in a city and you think it's snowing, and if you read the book, you realize it's not snow, it's salt. And that's why it's salt. Like, you get the name of the White Chlorination Syndrome in the game. You don't learn anything about it. The Black Scrawl, which is a major plot point, the Black Scrawl disease, you don't learn what that is in the game. You don't learn why Vice and Noir are so important to each other in the game. That's something from the book. So there's a ton of stuff like is only available in a book released in Japan.
Is there enough that's implied that you could work with?
No, like you couldn't figure out. You could have fan theories about what the Black Scroll is.
But there's not enough to be like, okay,
no,
we can
and like
we
the
get
Black
enough
Scroll,
information to be like, boom.
Especially like when you're looking at the wider universe of Nier, like the wider timeline. Knowing what the Black Scroll is vital. Absolutely vital to understand why you led into the situation in Automata, and why Nier is remembered there as the destroyer. Like, Nier is not a heroic figure in Automata. He's actually like the ultimate villain, which is something that you only get like you do understand it to some degree in after playing the game, but it's not there. But then they added in ending E, which is the brand new ending for this version of the game, the remaster. Which, and like the way the Nier endings work, they're cumulative. It's not like oh my god, go to sleep, go to sleep. She was going psycho on the door. The Nier endings are cumulative. It's not like you have alternate endings. Like C and D aren't compatible. All the other ones, like B is another perspective, and C or D is the extension of ending A, and E is the epilogue, essentially. You do have to play a few hours of the game from the start, and then you hit a point and the whole thing turns into new. You play as a new character, and you get a lot more world building. You find, like, you don't get enough quite, but you do get elements like humanity is fucked. Like, in a way that's really driven home. It's in-game. There is a ton of Nier Automata references.
Specifically in that chapter.
Specifically in that chapter. Down to bringing back 2B and 9S's actors.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there was a moment where you basically feels like you're playing one of the VR sections in Automata. And also, as a guy familiar with Drakengard, the ending, which I saw a lot of people go like, oh, that's lovely imagery. I'm just like, oh no. Like, I realize a bad situation can't really get worse, but no, like, it's Yoko Taro. There's no way that just like, and you were supposed to think this was just a pretty flower. And I'm just sitting there going like, shit. But yeah, like, it's not a happy ending.
No, well, it couldn't be.
No, because the whole story is leading to, if spoilers for Nier, I think it has to be said, the whole story is leading basically to a story about annihilation.
Yeah.
On a global scale, and essentially another species replacing us. And also, like, Emil's story is very sad. And Kaine's great. Kaine's my favorite character. She's absolutely fantastic. Really interesting approach to doing someone who is intersex, and like how they approach that is in her backstory. I think it's quite interesting, and how they actually approach Emil's sexuality is quite interesting as well. Apparently, there were some dialogue changes in the English version to make it a lot more clear, because it was changed when they were doing the American release before. A lot of Kaine and Emilia dialogue was changed to tone down the potential romantic elements, because Father Nier is like 30 years older than the pair of them.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So they thought it was a little creepy having this seemingly young boy and this woman in her 20s like thirst for this like 40-50-year-old man. He is in the game briefly. I've never liked the Father Nier design, so I'm not sad he wasn't like an option to play as. But
isn't the fan name for Big Daddy Nier?
Yeah, like Try Hard Nier would be what I'd call him. But especially like that.
I never liked his weird mask. He's got a weird mask on, doesn't he?
That's after the time skip.
Is it? It's like a weird bondagey kind of mask.
Yeah,
almost like something Mankind would wear from old WWE.
Because in the original, Nier gets redesigned because he's 5 years older, and he was a child before. He was a mid-teen, and now he's like early 20s. So they redesigned him. That wasn't really an option when they decided to make him a gruff big daddy.
No.
But yeah, so Nier, I would really recommend it if you're into really cool story. I would say it's something where you will have to do a lot of research outside the game if you want to get the full experience.
Like Dark Souls.
I'll take. I've never played enough of a Dark Souls.
I mean, all the info's there, but there's a lot of implied stuff as well. You should play Dark Souls.
You're not the boss of me.
It's a suggestion. It's not an order.
Yeah. But yeah, apart from that, watched my animes. Is there? Just trying to think if there's Dynazenon. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I've kind of got the idea. Episode 7, yeah. What Dynazenon's identity is, I'm actually quite liking it. I've actually gotten more into it because, like, I've gotten past the idea where I'm thinking it's supposed to be Gridman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it as much as Gridman, obviously. I think the lack of a really strong villain, who was secretly the main character, is something that hurts it. But the fact it's mostly about personal trauma, I find really interesting, especially how they handle like the older guy, how he's handling, how he sort of his arc develops. I think is really interesting.
You mean Gauma, or do you mean the Shut-in?
Shut-in, Kiyomi.
Okay.
Or like how Minami's her search for her sister is becoming quite dark, and episode 7 like fully introduces 2 characters I'm really happy to see. One I'd seen episode 6, so I knew who was going to be there. The other one I was very surprised to see.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't have been. But yeah, also like there's a ton of like old Gridman references in these 2 episodes in 6 and 7.
I still feel like, especially with episode 7, that they drop those 2 characters and be like, "Oh, things are gonna happen," and I don't think still anything really happened. No,
but like when I realize like because the story isn't really about like what's going on with Dynazenon or other characters or whatever. It's more about like, hey, my sister might have murdered herself and I don't know how to feel about that.
It just feels strange then that they don't really, they only kind of briefly focus on that, because there's a lot of the episode is dedicated obviously to beating up the monster as well, and it kind of interferes. It's almost like, well, which story do you want to be? Do you want to be the Dynazenon story, or do you want to be the trauma story? Because they don't seem to mesh desperately well at the moment, I would say. I'm still waiting for the thing to pull these things together to happen.
Yeah, I think one thing that needs to happen is Gauma needs more.
They keep playing around with what he's doing. Though I do have a theory.
Oh, I've got several, but like we like they have really confirmed the idea of like this is like different Gridman shows are going to be set in different universes, but it's all like the same multiverse. Which I think is interesting. Also, like, I'm still curious if we'll get anyone else from Gridman coming in.
Well, who do you think the girl that Gauma's after is?
But that's an idea. I've had several thoughts on that. Like,
because I thought that specifically in that episode 7 when he mentioned her and she went to somewhere he couldn't go. I was like, oh, is it her?
Sounds familiar.
It does. But wouldn't that be interesting if if Gauma and the eugenicists were failed kaiju?
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. Like, I found it really interesting, the fact that the new characters who came in are kaiju wasn't a plot point.
Yeah.
They just like, well, we can't drive that. No, you can't, sir. No, you cannot, because he's too cool for you.
That's right. And he's not a kaiju, is he? Technically,
wait, he is. No, he is.
Well, I thought he technically evolved past that when he became the Grid Knight.
I always kind of see it like he's a kaiju equivalent.
Okay.
That's why I always read, and she is a kaiju.
Oh yeah, she definitely is.
Like she's 100%.
No, my assumption was when he left his kaiju form behind, he became whatever Gridman is, whatever you want to call that digital species, rather than a kaiju version of Gridman. I don't know. Again, that was never really touched on too hard, I suppose. So,
yeah, like I mean, his origins are completely different from kaiju in the broader series, anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm guessing his origins are not the same as the kaiju that are showing up in Dynazenon.
Yeah. We still don't really know anything about that. This is the issue. We're over halfway through the series now, or at least halfway through, and there's still like not a huge progression of any story going on. Yeah,
it's a ton of mystery, but it is being sort of drip fed a bit.
The most focus we've got is on the sister maybe killing herself, maybe not.
Yeah.
We don't know why or what's happening there. That's the most focus we've had in the story so far, and even then, I don't mind that. That's a fine mystery. Then nothing else is really being pulled in.
Yeah, like I would say I would like Chie. I would like this whole thing where she's clearly going to have something to do with a kaiju. I would like that to start getting a bit of a move on, because you had 2 or 3 episodes of her playing with like a kaiju seed.
Yeah.
And I thought that she was going to pull something in this episode, but she didn't.
I'm waiting for her to eat it.
I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Like I would not be shocked if it turns out she is going to be a major enemy at the end of it.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But yeah, I got too hyped. I won't lie. I got very hyped when they started playing My Way. They were just like, I love that song. And also a lot of Gridman music is in this episode.
Yeah, it was a lot more poppy, I think, musically.
Yeah. But no, I'm still enjoying it. It's stylish.
It is.
Like, I saw Jason was going like, oh, I don't know if it's good, no one's talking about it. And I was saying like, well, this time around, no one's like going rabid trying to get all the Transformers references.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
we don't know if they are there yet. I think I've spotted 1 or 2 that make me think, yeah, they're probably there. But I think that means like for our fandom, it's just got less of a big punch in the dick.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would definitely say this one much more feels like a maybe, like if you're not sure, maybe wait to the end of the series.
Yeah, no, I think
it's with both you and I still are very much like we don't know. It could still go either way, and I'm really hoping it doesn't go Darling in the Franxx kind of route, which is like, there's the potential. There was more potential that was already built up by this time in Darling in the Franxx, which just took a fucking nosedive than what we've got with Dynazenon, but it's still in that like, this could go to shit very quickly, or it could get great. Who knows?
I'm happy enough it won't go to shit just because like it's all the same creative team. So like
I'd hope so. Yeah,
I think they'll just like, if it stays at this level, I'll still enjoy it. I don't think it'll nosedive beyond what like its standard, but we'll see. Surely
it depends on how well they pull off the reveals of the mystery, I guess, right?
Absolutely. Like, what is Dynazenon would be a good thing to start dealing with.
Yeah. Well, we've got 5 episodes left? 6 episodes left?
5.
Oh, God.
But,
no.
Yeah, so, what else? Because I haven't watched all my shows. Godzilla Singular Point is on Japanese Netflix with English subtitles, so I started watching that.
Oh,
because I didn't like reading the fan subs at all, because they were really bad fan subs, and I'm happy to watch it through like official lines, and it's it's Netflix sub, so it's never going to be fantastic. But yeah, so that is a show you definitely want to have your brain turned on for.
Okay,
that is a show written by someone with a physics background who is kind of assuming a lot of people can keep up with very advanced physics theories.
Oh dear. Okay.
Which I actually did some reading about him because he's an author primarily, and like a lot of reviews are, he's got some very high ideas, and one of the problems is his writing can be a bit difficult to penetrate.
Yeah, because again, he doesn't dumb it down, I suppose.
Yeah, and I came away from it, and I was just like, you know what, I believe that. But no, I'm like, it's also sort of dealing in mystery a lot, but I think the pacing is good. I think the animation is great. I think it looks really, really good.
Even though it's CG, for the most part?
Even though it's CG, it makes
Is it for the most part, or is it all CG?
The kaiju are CG.
Right, okay.
The humans and everything else are hand-drawn and a bit triggery.
Yeah.
But, like, the CG animation, like, the polygon look like shit. Blunt.
Well,
so, every time someone compliments War for Cybertron, I'm just like, God, don't. But, like, they've introduced the idea that Jet Jaguar now is going to have AI, which I think is cool. I wasn't expecting him to do that. I thought they were going to have him as a piloted mech the whole time. Godzilla has made his appearance, although it turns out Godzilla had actually shown up a few episodes before and no one realized, because they're going with the Shin Godzilla route of him evolving.
Oh, okay. But it's not Shin Godzilla, it's just the idea, right?
Like, he looked, well, when he was evolving, like, the first form looks like Titanosaurus.
I don't know what that is.
Big orange kaiju from Terror of Mechagodzilla.
Oh, it's another old school one. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
And the next one, his next form, it looks like a kind of like monster, like a weird version of Varan, who's another really old one.
Right.
And now, like, it looks like the last form's going to be like proper Godzilla. They are doing the don't look at him too much, because they've got the red mist thing everywhere, and they're using that to hide him a lot. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm very curious to see, like, as the mystery there, because there's a mystery there, like, where the fuck are these things coming from? And more importantly, why are these things coming here? They're building it up like there's a connection between them and a mysterious element called archetype, which like is super super weird. But no, I'm curious. Like, this is one, like I said, it's more enjoyable now. I can actually tell what's going on. And
Yes,
not
I would imagine that makes things better.
Yeah, not to knock people doing fan subs, but yeah.
Do you think the fan subs made it harder to figure out what was happening?
Much,
Wow.
because there were like grammatical errors, and they clearly weren't translating what was going on the screen, and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Also, I just find it interesting that Japanese Netflix, if you go on there, has a lot of English subtitles and things.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like, but yeah, Back Arrow, another good episode. Last 2 episodes, I think, have been the best in the show.
Is that 19 you're on now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so couple of surprising moments, couple of world building moments.
I saw Arrow went crazy and started killing everybody.
Yeah,
that was the
it's
last
next one after
Okay.
that. So yeah. I'm behind on most of the rest of the stuff. I was going to watch them today, but my niece showed up.
How dare she?
How dare you little shite.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I have a few things to catch up on. Probably this afternoon. Or this evening, rather. But yeah, so that's kind of my week, really. I was tempted to buy Mass Effect, but I think I'll wait until it's on sale.
I definitely would. I don't think there's enough improvements to it to really justify the price that they want. I would say.
Like for 3 games, yeah, like 70's not terrible. But
I
I don't have 7.
You really want to play.
Like, I want to play the whole thing, honestly. Like, I think Mass Effect 3 up until 10 minutes is a great game. It's just those 10 minutes. But
one's still rough to play. One's still got the issues to play that it had originally.
Well, I'm surprised by that, honestly. I thought they would have made
Same.
a lot of change, more like uniforming of the gameplay, but it doesn't look like it.
I guess that would have taken a lot of work to do that, though.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm interested. I just I do not have the money to buy a €70 game at the moment.
Mm-hmm. You did do some other stuff this week, though. You did some research on Toei, I suppose.
Yes.
The Toei
Hang on.
news.
The dog's acting up again. Go away. Yeah, Toei is causing a bit of a stir on Twitter at the moment. And also in general the Toku fandom, because they have officially started coming down on at least one fan subgroup. They sent a cease and desist order to TV Nihon, which is the oldest fan subgroup. It's been going for 18 years now.
That was my fan subgroup. That was the one I always used.
But yeah, they got a full cease and desist order, and other big groups like Overtime, they said they're going to stop making stuff until or if they get something saying like we're not going to get legalized. First time in 18 years, Toei has made a move on this. Toei is rather infamous for being kind of EA-ish about a lot of its work. So a lot of people are like, this is a big blow to Sentai and Rider fans.
Western ones, at least, yeah. Massive, because fan subs were how those fandoms were formed.
Yeah, it's the only way we've ever been able to consume them. Now, in the last 6 months, we've had several like official subs things from different Rider things, and more Rider, because Sentai they're still only doing the old stuff. But like we've had 1 or 2 episodes or 5 or 6 shows. Like the opening episodes of like Double have been officially subbed now. Decade, Kuga. Although Kuga, like the whole show is out there subbed, I believe. If you're on America, which is another thing. Like, there's a lot of region issues for this. Like, I don't think there's a way of watching it in the UK legally.
Fantastic.
But I think they did Ryuki and Agito as well. Kiva just got episode 1.
When you say Ryuki and Agito, do you mean the full things or just parts
just
of them?
1 or 2 episodes. A few movies, a couple of movies, and I know like Kiva. They released Kiva yesterday.
Wow.
But obviously, like, a lot of people are interpreting it as like, okay, this is them saying we're going to start doing official releases on that side of the pond.
You don't think that's the case?
I don't know. Now I know they've confirmed that 01 is getting a full Blu-ray release.
Okay.
But the Rider fandom has really been kept going by the week to week. So if they're doing a thing of like once a year, once every 2 years, you get a box set of the show from a year or two ago.
Yeah, that's going to kill it.
That's going to absolutely murder it. I would hope that they take the Subaraya route, what they've been doing with Ultraman for the last few years, which is do symbol subs.
But they've been doing that for a while now at this point, haven't they?
Yeah, Subaraya's been doing, like, originally they were releasing it on Crunchyroll. I don't know if they still are, but they do it on YouTube now. The last show, Zed, I think it was, that I watched a couple episodes of that, and that was all released on YouTube. So I would hope that what Toyo would do would have an official International Kamen Rider channel where they release the episodes once a week and have them fully subbed.
But since you described them as very much like EA, I would imagine there's a reason you said that, because you have no faith in them.
No, I have none. They have, like I said, their approach to Rider at the moment has been to sort of do a lot of like, here's an introduction to something subbed.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're not gonna continue on with that. We're gonna do something else. They are very, very, very fond of region locking.
Cool.
US, what's available in the US is very much not available in the UK, and etc. On, a lot of what's being released in Japan. Release times are going to be an issue. Like, I really want like an official statement within the next month or so saying, just so you know, we have decided we're going to start releasing Kamen Rider in the West, and we're going to blah blah blah. Just because, like I said, the fandom only exists because of fan subs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, Saber's airing at the moment, which I haven't had a ton of interest in. So I'm not feeling the bite at the moment.
No.
But I was like, if this was a couple of years ago, with Build or Exade, or if God help us, Oz or Gaim, this has happened.
Yeah.
I would have been on the warpath.
Yeah, it's understandable.
And like, it's not like Toei hasn't been aware of these fan subgroups. Like,
they must be aware that it's helped promote their stuff to an audience that was never around.
Well, they know exactly why things have been like the West. They reached out to the Western fandom, like, and they knew, like, the entire like team Kamen Rider over at Bluefin is made up of people who used to watch the fan subs.
Yeah, of course. Probably still do. One has to.
I know at one point Toei, someone in Toei years ago now was like talking to people at TV Nihon about helping them with something.
Oh, really? Okay.
This was a good few years ago, from what I understand. It's a big deal among the, like, this is like, and at the moment, unfortunately, for Toei is kind of your only jam for new material, apart from Garo. And the Garo series are very infrequent in coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So
who's Garo done by? I can't remember.
I don't know the studio off the top of my head, but
okay.
I know they've never come down and like, they have done domestic releases of original Garo and Makai Senki.
When you say domestic, do you mean like
America?
Here as well.
Well, like, they do like region free Blu-rays.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So they don't. You're not going to find it in like HMV, but you can actually buy a copy. Okay, that makes more sense. I don't know. Maybe. No. Yeah, I mean, this is the issue. If they just said, "Hey, why don't we put out the old Kamen Rider series on region free Blu-ray? Put them on Amazon or somewhere." Yeah. Okay, that'd be cool. That'd be fine. I'd be all right with that. You know how you said make an announcement? If they said starting with the next series coming up in September, we're going to do not a simulcast, but maybe like the next day a global release of it with subtitles.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. People be all right with that. Like, wait one extra day.
Yeah, but we don't know what they're going to do. So
no, probably nothing. They're probably going to say don't do it and don't do anything from there, I would imagine.
Yeah. And like Kuga, TV Neon took down all their Kuga stuff when it got released on Pluto, but that meant anyone who wasn't in the US had no way of watching Kuga if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
And I'm very much in the argument, like, this is not a case of like we're all pirating because we're trying to save money. We've never had another option.
No. And currently still don't, you can say.
Like, if I want, and also like I was curious, because obviously these things air on Saturday, and I was very curious to see what would happen the next day, and another brand new group has just released episode 35 of Saber, which aired yesterday. So clear. How should I put this? I do not see piracy on the Rider series dying.
No, it's just going to change, just like piracy always does. You can't destroy piracy because piracy will just adapt.
It's going to become anonymous, a lot more anonymous. There won't be subgroups. There'll be just like, this site releases torrents of it, this site releases downloads, and we don't talk about where they come from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
wonder if they'll go up on Hopefully they'll go up on so they'll be still easy to find.
Yeah, but like again, like since it's Saber at the moment, I'm not exactly like losing sleep over this. Especially like it's worse if you're into Sentai because Sentai's only ever been releasing old series. Like if you want to watch Zenkaiger, like I checked, there's almost no episodes of Zenkaiger available now because they were all overtime.
What's Zenkaiger? Is that the newest one?
The new Sentai one, the anniversary series, and from what I can see, like Overtime pulled all their subs.
Oh, okay. Oh,
like, and like again, like Toei's perfectly in the legal right. No one's gonna.
Oh,
say they're not,
It's still an asshole thing to do, especially since they made a lot more money from the subs than not. To be fair.
Yeah, no, they have been making money off them for years. But I think it's one of those things like if you were going to do this, you really should have announced, like, this is our plan going forward.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Because like all the subgroups have traditionally, once something's been like released with English subtitles, they've all like officially said we are no longer offering this because we want you to buy the official thingamajig.
The official release, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's kind of good. That's good of them.
And like I think YouTube would be a really wise way to go because you can monetize that and it can be globally available. Yeah, but I don't know. Like it'll be an interesting thing come September. What's going on with the Rider World?
Yeah, if anything changes, or if it's just kept, don't do our things, and the new pirate ships rise. Yep, which I imagine will probably be the case more than anything.
Yep, or unless they pull a Hasbro and go after all the actual like unless like big legal shit starts happening.
Yeah,
like, and I'm not sure.
Do you think they will? Do you think big legal shit would happen?
I don't know. Like, because I honestly I would have said like as long as it's not directly conflicting with their earnings, they wouldn't have made a move. But like clearly it is going to be.
Yeah, so one would hope that like you say, that the reason they're doing something is because they're going to do something.
Yeah, but like I said, like if they do like, oh, we're going to do once a year releases of shows, or we're just I have a horrible feeling that, like I said, they are not a company that's like well regarded in terms of a lot of stuff. I just have a horrible image. They're just going to think of the most convoluted, least sensible way of doing this. When all you need to do is get someone who speaks English, throw it up on YouTube once a week.
I heard they had a Marvel deal which fell through. They failed on. Is that true?
Yes.
What was that about?
Don't know what the deal was, but I believe it was they were going to produce their own shows. But
Marvel was going to produce their own shows, so they were going to produce their own shows.
They were going to produce like Marvel properties.
Oh, right, okay.
But from what I understand, something on Toei's end, like they cocked up.
Not Marvel, like, Toei.
Yeah. Now Marvel cocks up plenty, in my opinion. But
certainly.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yay!
I'd be curious to see how it turns out. A lot of other people out there are more upset than I am. But like
like you said, we're not invested because Saber's not our cup of tea, writer-wise, currently. Yeah. I totally get why people would be upset, though, and I wouldn't say that it's not a good reason to be upset.
No.
Because it's also going to be technically harder to get people into it.
Much harder. Much harder. If we don't have easily accessible means of getting into it, because that's the thing. When your only means of getting into something is there's no way of watching it on TV, there's no way of streaming it. You have to buy a $40 to $50 Blu-ray set at the cheapest.
Yeah,
there is no like, listen, mate, watch a couple of episodes, see what you think.
Yeah, exactly. You've no idea if you're going to enjoy it or not.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a case of like someone fucked up and made the wrong moves. To be honest.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right, Mr.
Remind me of that one that guy at Hasbro Legal from years ago who thought the way of dealing with piracy was to ban fan art.
Yeah, that was a good time. That was a real good time. So is that all you've been up to then, Mikey?
Yep, that's pretty much me.
Wow. Good.
What about you, Andy?
What have I been doing? Not a huge amount, unsurprisingly. Just busy with work as usual. I did a little bit of painting, but not a huge amount. I've got around to doing some more streaming each night, as I usually do. Chunking on through Digimon, Digi Stories, Cyber Sleuthins. Digimens. Yuko got turned into an eater for a bit, and then I saved her.
Yeah.
That was alright. It still feels like a weird story. Sometimes the exposition dumps are really intense.
Yes, they are.
But then again, it is a Japanese RPG, which is going for a very Persona 4-esque style, and Persona 4 is known for that stuff as well, I suppose. But it's still enjoyable, still fun enough. Have I actually got anything? I got another Warhammer book, an old one, a 2006 one. It's quite nice, it's quite fancy. And I think that's about it, to be honest. It's mainly been work as usual. Get up, work, stream, go to bed. That's the day for the most part. Goes by fast. I haven't watched the 86 for a while, so I've got that to watch tonight. I've got Spider to watch, and I haven't got Vivi. I need to get the newest Vivi.
Oh yeah, I need to watch
episode 7. Is 7 up?
8, I think, is the new one.
8's up, is it? Oh, I'll need to check. Either way, I'll need to make sure, because that's the good stuff.
Yeah,
Vivi's the fun one.
Yeah, no, it's 8 because this is the 4th arc. She's very old now.
Yeah, well,
I find that interesting because that means we're way further in the timeline than I was expecting to be.
Yeah, we're definitely hoofing through. So I'm guessing we'll hit the 0 hour point, and then we'll kind of work from there. I'm guessing things will kick off, but she'll be around to actually save them this time.
Yeah, I'm curious because I'm assuming 0 hour will be the last couple of episodes, but
you have to assume that. Yeah, probably.
It'd be interesting if it did episode 10 is 0 hour, and then there's an epilogue story.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, that could be potentially quite fancy. I'd be alright with that. But yeah, that's it. That's all my fancy stuff, I'm afraid. So, Mr. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to? You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo, and if you want to send us a message or anything, there's moonbase2@gmail.com. We don't have anything this week, I'm afraid. And you can send us anything on Twitter and Facebook and Libsyn and everywhere else. Hey. We do have a message on Patreon from Tentomon 4. Making sure I don't have another one. The message just says, well, in my headcanon, I always saw Demon Lord Sparta as a noble samurai type who jumped sides when he got sick of all the demons being assholes. Does that mean anything to you, Mikey? I mean, I think it's what everyone says Sparta did, but... Oh, are we talking Devil May Cry? Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I wasn't sure what the context was. I was looking at that today, trying to mine it, going, what is this talking about? Mikey will know. This might be a Mikey thing more than a me thing. I don't know. But thankfully you knew, which is good. We do have a message from Christoph as well over on the Facebook page, which is, have not had time to listen during the Swedish holiday long weekend, but I did play with my nibbling and goo hang on. I did play with my nibbling and I'm guessing that's a small child of some description. And Gujitsu. Have you heard of Gujitsu toy line, Mikey? No. Gujitsu. If you have kid, as they are monster/Marvel shaped bags of stuff, you can just smash and bash into one another without worrying that they'll break like normal action figures. No wonder Rise of the TMNT line got wrecked. And he shows a picture of what I guess are two of them. Let me send you the picture. I was going to say a crocodile, but it's a shark. Sharks and crocodiles, almost the same thing. And a triceratopsy person. Send the picture, you stupid Skype. Come on now. A shark, crocodile, triceratops. You know they're all the same. Well, no, there's a shark and a triceratops. Two different ones. Oh, they're hugging. Yeah, okay, sure. I didn't recognize them myself when I looked at the figures. I was like, I don't recognize these at all. No, me neither. No. There you go. That's Mikey, maybe you should keep your eyes open and throw these at your niece at some point so you can give her cool toys to play with. I like throwing heavy things at her. Oh, that's good. She'll get strong arms. You can dodge a wrench. Yeah, exactly. You can dodge a dodgeball if you can dodge a wrench. That's a fact. And if you want, because that's as far as I know, all of the questions kind of covered, or the statements covered. So you can find me on Twitter, CCTFW, YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums, so on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. We're on patreon.com/Moonbase2. And if you do $2 each month, you get the extended version of From the Files of Teletron 2. We also have that's actually went up this week. The last month technically we still have to do this month's as well, so don't worry about that. The extended one's gone up. The free one will go up this week, and you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, which will happen at some point this month as well once we figure out what to do for that. And you can also get us on the ccbunker.weebly.net.com if you want to go that way, or you can find me on Twitch as CCTFW, where I stream video games from 11 o'clock in the evening UK time to about 1:30ish again in the morning. So, thank you very much, Mikey, for coming on by, even though we had no news to talk about. Thank you for gabbing with me.
Indeed.
Yeah, so until next time, everybody, thank you very much for coming on by, and we will see you suckers next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.